How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me. So, how are things with you guys? You're in Belgium now?
Yeah. In Belgium, all good. I mean, we haven't seen each other in almost. I think it'll be 2 years by the time we play a show, which
Wow.
is insane. But other than that, yeah, we're all good.
Yeah. Well, I know you're starting to line up live dates now. So, when are you actually going to be getting back in the room together?
February. So the tour starts in February in Europe. So we'll probably rehearse for about a week straight since it would have been 2 years. Maybe we need a little practice. So I
Yeah.
think we'll lock ourselves up for about a week, I guess, before the tour.
Crazy times. So,
Yeah,
obviously, you guys, you've been around the block. You're about to release your 11th album. How does it feel being in Aborted in 2021?
feels good. I mean, we're still doing what we're doing. We're doing what we love, and I'm doing it with some of my best friends. So I couldn't complain.
And how do you feel the band and the sound that you have now compares to back in the old days? Do you see a progression through every single album?
Slightly. I mean, you can't really compare it at all to what it was in the start, and that's okay. I mean, it stands for something that wasn't back in the time, but it's definitely evolved a lot. It's a lot more, I'd say, extreme, a lot more technical. There's a lot more stuff going on. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, when we started, we didn't even expect to even have an album out. So having one album out was something crazy to us back then, and now we're at number 11. It's what, you know, it's kind
Yes.
of crazy. So we're just enjoying the ride mainly, to be honest.
Do you make a conscious effort to try and push the sound forward with each album? And how do you think you've done it on this new record?
Yeah, we do. I think mainly Ken's been, I guess, the main compositor when it comes to music, or main composer when it comes to music. The last couple of records, so he's always thinking like, all right, where do we want to go with this record? And the answer was not like, let's try to go more fast and more extreme and whatnot on this record. There's some of the most fast and extreme stuff we've ever done on this record, but at the same time there's a lot more dynamics, and I think that's what we really aimed at. We wanted to have a record that would really be strong in a live setting as well.
Yeah.
We focused on incorporating a lot more dynamics in the records, incorporating some stuff that fans haven't heard us do in a long time. I'm thinking of songs like Demented, for example, as something that we've done in the past ish, but we haven't in a while. So we were bringing some of the older stuff back. There's some Gormageddon stuff on there. There's a little bit of everything throughout the entire career of the band, and making this, I think, a much more rounded record than the last one, for example.
Yeah, because you guys seem to have perfected that combination of like extremity, but still having a bit of the groove. There's still, you still have the earworms, for want of a better phrase. It's not just bash you over the head constantly. I mean, it kind of is in a way, but there's still the subtlety to it, and you can still kind of, it definitely has that groove. And I think that's something that set you apart. And I know that you've influenced bands, not just in death metal, but you kind of influenced bands in other genres, related genres. Do you take influences from different genres yourself as a band?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we're all, it's not like we're just only listening to what came out in 95, and that's it. I mean, obviously what came out in 95 shaped this band, and it's still very important to us. There's still stuff that that influences us from back in the day, but we're listening to a lot of the newer stuff where there's a lot of new bands doing a lot of crazy stuff that influences us. Even me as a vocalist, there's a lot of crazy new dudes out there, and I think it's really interesting to see them, because it's also pushing you out of your comfort zone to try new things and to incorporate that into your music. So I think that's the beauty of the music scene. You people keep inspiring each other, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, and after so many years, in the band, especially for you, it must always be, something that you want to be pushing to create something new, and always feel like you're making something that's of value to the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And pushing it forward, but not losing the fan base, or shall we now call them the ManiaCult?
Yeah. Hey, don't say it too loud. I don't want Waylon to show up. He's fucking crazy. So he blackmailed me into doing this album about him. So
for those that don't know, tell us about the ManiaCult and what's going on with all that, because it's a pretty crazy idea.
Well, I mean, it's funny because it all started kind of a reverse process. Usually we come up with a whole concept, build artwork, everything around it, and then come up with the retarded pre-order idea, that is done especially for the fans. I say especially for the fans. It's especially for the fans, and especially for me to be a stupid kid in a candy store and come up with some retarded shit that I can do with my band.
Right.
So, that's the stuff. But this time around, we actually came up with the dumb idea first, which was we want to have an action figure. It's of this crazy Waylon Thurston guy that we came up with, and it's sort of a mascot of the band, I guess now.
Right.
What have we started? I don't know. But really, we started with that idea. We wanted it to have like an 80s slasher vibe because that's the universe that we're in.
Yeah.
It had to be goofy, but it also had to incorporate the, sort of the concept of the record, which is it's a guy that has a cult and he's trying to summon demons. But the real story behind it is it's based upon all the batshit crazy stuff that's been happening the last couple of years, and mental health disorders and that kind of stuff. So it works in a serious way. It works in a silly way. So we've been doing this and then trying to, make a whole cult about it and get the fans involved. We started a Facebook group for the ManiaCult recently, and it's actually been really, really cool to, be in direct contact with the fans and see how all these super fans and whatnot, people have tons of records of ours, and be in direct contact, have a line of communication with them. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how far you can take this whole thing, because there's endless possibilities, right?
There's a whole plan. Don't worry. It's all coming.
yeah, I'm excited to see that. So you guys have never been shy about collaborating with people. I know you like bringing people into the fold and having guest appearances on the album. Tell us about how that's worked out on this new album.
Well, there's a couple of different people on the record. Usually it's people that we're friends with, we've toured with, or that we look up to. So there's Joe Bad from Fit for an Autopsy on the song ManiaCult, who we've toured with. He's a great guy, fucking huge ass monster voice. So very happy to have him on there. Yeah. Humanity's Last Breath has been a band that we've been digging a lot the last couple of years. We played a show with them in Amsterdam. So we have Philip from their band on Drag Me to Hell.
Excellent. I was listening to them yesterday, actually.
Yeah, really unique band and very cool dudes. So very stoked to have him on there. We got Rio from Crystal Lake, but it worked really well, and I'm very happy he's on there. Ben Dure from Shadow of Intent, which is one of those crazy kids doing insane vocals these days. So, very honored to have him on there. He sounds like a monster.
Yeah, cool. So you mentioned that you're planning the tour for next year. You've got the European dates set out. Have you started to think further afield? Obviously, we're in Montreal, so we're talking about North American tours.
Yeah, we are thinking about doing something in the summer. Nothing's booked yet because, obviously with the current situation, booking agents are still figuring out this year. So it's a little bit too much in the future right now, but I think summer will be when you will see us around.
Okay, now I want to ask you about albums specifically. If there was somebody who had never heard of Aborted, which album would you want them to listen to first?
That's a tough one. I'd have to go with the new one because it sort of covers a lot of different aspects of the band. And if not that one, I'd say Necrotic Manifesto probably, for the same reason.
because it kind of encapsulates everything that you want to get out there as a band.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's a good diversity within the sounds on those albums, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want to hear what you would say is a classic album, not of your own, that you think everybody needs to hear at some point in their life.
Despise the Sun from Suffocation.
Okay, tell me why.
It's probably, along with that Bloodbath EP, the most perfect death metal EP that's ever been recorded.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah. That's what I want, your opinion. And what do you think is the album that you've listened to more than any other in your lifetime?
That's probably a toss-up between Left Hand Path from Entombed and
Nice.
Pierced from Within from Suffocation.
Nice. And what is an album that you absolutely love that might surprise your fans that you love it?
Oh, we're getting in that territory. That's risky. Oh man, let me think. Look at Yourself from a Mirror.
Okay. What is it about that you like? Because they're a divisive band, Imure.
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of death metal fans hate them, but I think there's something really visceral and extreme in a very different way about that record. I think it's very brutally honest and simplistic. It's caveman music, but it's done really well, and I like that kind of stuff. So,
right. And what do you listen to when you're just chilling out? Because all these albums are not really chill out albums.
I listen to a lot of movie scores. Actually, I started collecting a lot of John Carpenter vinyls and stuff like that. So nice. A lot of 80s movie soundtracks. Yeah. So
John Carpenter, you still got a little bit of that scary edge to even the chill out music that you're listening to.
What can I say?
So once the album's out, what's going to be next for you guys?
Well, hopefully touring. There's a bunch of videos coming out. We'll be doing the Euro tour. And I'm hoping, if everything goes to plan, we'll be touring everywhere, really. So fingers crossed. And there's some ideas to just do some one-off kind of recording stuff after that. But the main focus is the record and the touring cycle.
Actually, I wanted to ask, is there one album that you've heard recently by a new band? Because you've mentioned some new bands that you've been listening to recently. Is there one that stands out that you think that you would like to recommend to people that maybe they might have missed?
Well, some really crazy shit. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it's that new, but the last Infant Annihilator record is surprised me a lot. There's some really crazy vocal stuff going on, and the music is batshit crazy. It's really cool.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks for chatting with me today. Good luck with the new album. We're excited to get you back into Montreal in front of a raging crowd.
I hope so.
It's been a while. So, yeah, take care, and we'll hopefully see you over here soon.
Right on, man. Thank you so much for the interview, and see you around.